Loneliness, the vast endless space. Many games take their inspiration from the loneliness and quietness of space. One of the most well-known game series that does this is the Metroid series. And these games in their turn inspired other games. Games like Xeodrifter. So yes, Xeodrifter is a metroidvania game, with the emphasis on Metroid. You play an unnamed astronaut or cosmonaut, let's call him Victor. Victor is traversing space in a shuttle, when suddenly his engine gives out. Luckily for Victor, there are 4 planets relatively close by, and since he still has his thrusters powered on, he decides to search these planets for parts that help him repair the engine. Planets are all inhabited, and there are creatures and other obstacles in Vic's way. Luckily for him, along the way he finds permanent power-ups that increase his hit points, upgrade his space gun, and even give him extra abilities. Since it is a Metroidvania game, there is a lot of backtracking involved in Xeodrifter, but it never gets very complicated. There are 4 planets and each planet has 2 ways. You either have to go left or right from the starting point. This, and the fact that you can always check the map to see where you have been and what parts are still open, makes it all a very smooth ride. Even when you don't know exactly where to go, it doesn't take long before you find out. Xeodrifter is an indie game. It feels like an indie game and it definitely looks like an indie game. That doesn't mean that the game is ugly though, far from it, it's just a typical look. It has a typical pixelated look, but it's too much to call it pixel art. As a matter of fact, it looks much better in my opinion than a normal pixel art game. Every planet has its own color scheme and setting. One has more water, the other has more fire, etc. On the other hand, I can't say that there is much more variety than the colors. I think that the developer went for a retro 16-bit Metroid style, and it worked. The sound, well, it's meaty, very Super NES-like, maybe a bit more piercing in the ears though. It's not great, but it fits the game. What the soundtrack does do great is creating the atmosphere. There are nice haunting tunes that really catch the tense and lone atmosphere. I love it. Even though Xeodrifter is a Metroidvania, it's a very compact game. You can see it as a Metroidvania Lite or a My First Metroidvania experience. A lot of things are simplified if you compare it with other games in this genre. I can imagine that this can be a very bad thing for experienced players, but for me it was a good thing. I had a few other Metroidvania games that I got lost in, and after an hour or so I got frustrated and I just stopped the whole game altogether. The Batman Blackgate game comes to mind. With Xeodrifter, I just went to another planet, look at the map and check the incomplete parts. Much more convenient. But not everything is nice when simplified. For example, variety is a good thing. And in Xeodrifter there is a problem here. The enemies are largely the same in every planet. Sometimes they have a different color or an alternate attack, but the difference is minimal. The most disappointing are the end bosses. Usually an end boss is something special. They're big and epic. But in Xeodrifter the end bosses are all the same. Yes, their attack pattern gets more varied, but it seems like the same boss in a different color is harassing you every time. It's a missed chance. It took me about 4 hours to finish the game, but if you know where to go, you can finish it within the hour. I didn't see this as a bad thing though. Also, the difficulty was exactly right for me. I was never stuck, even though the bosses were quite challenging. In the end, I really enjoyed my time with Xeodrifters. I liked this game. It's not brilliant, but a very enjoyable experience. I played the game on the Vita, and I think it's very suitable for this. On the other hand, I can imagine that if you play Xeodrifter on the big screen, the simplistic graphics and setup and the short play will be a big issue. And now I want to introduce a new format for my conclusion. I noticed that I recommended all the games I reviewed, but with an if. Also this one has a big if. So I would recommend Xeodrifters if you're looking for a short mobile experience and if you like the appeal of the Metroid franchise. If so, you will like this game. So, this was my review about Xeodrifters, the small but fun Metroidvania game. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of my new conclusion format, share and subscribe, and write me in the comments what you thought about Xeodrifters if you decided to play it. Stijn out!